Hey guys, Jake here, and today I've got my week number 10 match of the CPC. This week we are going up against Rob, aka Pokey TCG Gamer 1288. He's the coach of the Dallas Starmies. Rob is a fantastic player, both in ladder and in league. He recently won MPL minors, and he's also really good on ladder. I think I heard he even peaked every ladder in Gen 6, every main tier. So yeah, that's just amazing. He was definitely a tough opponent this week, and my matchup going into this game was pretty difficult because he basically he has two things that kind of really I had to centralize my building around, and that was Megalodios and Celesteela. So yeah, those monsters are extremely threatening. I'll read out his team this sec. His team consists of Celesteela, Megalodios, Crocodile, Mimikyu, Torterra, Electivire, Suicune, Mimikyu, Salazzle, Heracross, and Garbodor. So definitely a really scary team. Rob's 7-2 on the season going into this, so he's also been performing really well with it. The biggest threat to my team is the Megalodios. I don't have great answers to it. I don't really have a great way to revenge it. It could be either DD or Calm Mind, which is just even more scary. I wasn't really sure what set he'd bring, so it was really difficult to prepare for, and it was just so challenging. Crocodile is actually his only rock setter, or he's got the Torterra, but I didn't really expect Torterra to come this game. But Torterra is his only really great rock setter, Crocodile is his only great rock setter. So I pretty much expected Crocodile to be a bulky variant this game with rocks. And it could also Pursuit Trap my Hoopa if I'm locked into Hyperspace Fury or Dark Pulse or something. He's also got the Suicune. Suicune is actually pretty threatening. If I let it set up too many Calm Minds for free, it could be pretty scary. It's also a pretty good check to my Aerodactyl, as well as my Cinccino. So if I am able to wear the Suicune down early game, it'll be nice for my threats. And yeah, so he's also got the Celesteela. Celesteela was really threatening for me because it counters a lot of stuff on my team. Most notably the Venusaur, the Cinccino, and my Garchomp, which I didn't bring. And then I wasn't really sure if he'd bring offensive or defensive. Both made sense. His def could have been nice to take hits from Arrow and one-shot it back, take hits from Alzu and do a lot of damage back. But also Rabas really likes offensive Celesteela this game, Autotomize. So I figured there was a decent chance he might bring that this game. And then he's also got the Heracross. The Heracross is actually really scary. If my Zapdos gets worn down, I really don't have a good switch into Heracross at all. He could carry Bullet Seed for my Azumarill and do a ton of damage. And he's also got the Mimikyu. Mimikyu was really annoying in prep because I wanted to bring some a set of sweepers and stuff like that, but Mimikyu just kind of stopped that. Mimikyu is a good revenger for my Hoopa. It also stops a Belly Drum Azumarill sweep, because it can just Will-O-Wisp it. So yeah, Mimikyu is definitely a nuisance in team building. The first one I've got on my team is Choice Banded Azumarill. This Azu is really nice. It's got the really strong Aqua Jet that can clean up late game if I manage to get rid of stuff like the Suicune. Also, dual stabs just are really good versus him. If I predict whether he's going into Suicune or Celesteela versus this, I could get a ton of damage off of something. And yeah, it also does resist Heracross's dual stabs, so it's nice if he boxes himself into Mega Horn or close combat. So Azu's a very solid win condition this game. The next mount I've got is an Assault Vest Hoopa. This one is really nice because I put this here because it takes very little damage from a max special attack Draco Meteor from Megalodios, and it outgoes with Dark Pulse. It also was like one of my only good Salazzle switch-ins. Salazzle was actually really threatening. I was pretty relieved when I saw that he didn't bring it. So yeah, this thing was good at dealing with Salazzle. I wanted to bring Scarfoopa, but I felt like I really couldn't because he had the Crocodile, and whenever I lock myself into Hyperspace Fury, he just comes in with Crocodile, pursues me, and it one-shots me with -1 defense. So I felt like I really couldn't afford to bring it. I also had a Trick Room Hoopa at once, but I decided against it because I felt like my team was really weak to the Latios and to the Salazzle. Next mod I've got is a physically defensive Zapdos. This mod is solid this game. It can switch into Heracross if I don't think he's going for a Stone Edge. It can also potentially stop Celesteela. It actually takes very little from Life Orb, play roughs from Mimikyu, and it could also deal with the Crocodile pretty well. Because I do have Signal Beam, Toxic, Discharge, and Roost. I also forgot to mention Celesteela is Z eligible mod, so that means no Z Mimikyu, which is really relieving. I was kind of scared of like the never-ending nightmare Mimikyu, but yeah, thankfully Celesteela is the Z mod, which is pretty still threatening, but at least I don't have to worry about Mimikyu running it. The next mod I've got is a Rocky and Z Aerodactyl. This mod's overall pretty solid revenge healer of this game. I've got rocks on this thing, and I've also got the fog. I brought the fog in case I like needed to remove rocks for Zapdos if I needed to deal with Hair Frost Lake game, or also in case you wanted to bring Garbodor and Spike Stack me. That could have been a bit concerning because then my Venusaur would have been worn down really easily. But yeah, Aerodactyl can definitely put in the work. Stone it. And suppose Aqua Tail was really all the coverage I needed in this game. Followed by Torterra, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, next mod I've got is mostly specially defensive Venusaur. I've got Sleep Powder, so I'm not too passive versus the Celesteela as well as the Mega Latios. And I've also got Dual Stabs and Synthesis. This thing is invested to not get to it KO'd by a modest max special attack Air Slash from Celesteela, so that's really nice. Also, I do have some physical defense investment to help with Mimikyu and Heracross and Crocodile, so yeah. And then the next one I've got is Abandoned Cinccino. You might be wondering why I brought a Cinccino when he's got Celesteela, which is pretty much a hard counter to this, but I figured I can just U-turn out on the Celesteela and go on something like my Zapdos. So that wasn't the biggest deal, and if you look beyond Celesteela, Cinccino does a lot of work. In hindsight, perhaps I probably shouldn't have brought Banded, so I can switch up moves, because like I can't really lock myself into Tail Slap when Mimikyu comes in. But yeah, if I can get rid of Celesteela early game, Cinccino can definitely put in the work. So yeah, let's get right into this battle. So I'm supposed to lead off with my Zapdos because it just had a really good matchup versus everything overall. He doesn't have that much to immediately threaten it. Like the biggest threat to it is the Latios, but I can kind of act accordingly because I would have full health Hoopa. But he leads off with his Mimikyu, and this is totally fine. I take pretty much anything this thing wants to do. Fine. And I can just fire off the Discharge and hopefully get a Para. But he makes the good play and goes hard into his Crocodile. Now, this thing can't 2-hit KO me, even if he's like Banded, unless he's like Banded or Life Orb Stone Edge, but I don't expect Life Orb Stone Edge. So what I'm actually going to do on this turn is I'm going to go for the Signal Beam. It can 2-hit KO depending on his spread, and getting this Crocodile away is really nice because stuff like my Aerodactyl and my Cinccino can put in a lot more work. So yeah, he goes for his rocks, and that damage actually revealed that he is offensive Crocodile, which caught me a little bit off guard. But I definitely understand why he brought it. Offensive Crocodile is just really good versus me. If my Venusaur is chipped, it can even like potentially do a KO that. But yeah, I am able to 2-hit KO the Crocodile with Signal Beam. Which is nice. On this next turn, I'm just gonna go for the Signal Beam again, as he goes for his knockoff, and that actually does a ton. So he was definitely offensive Crocodile. I don't know what item he was. Maybe he was like Dreadblade or something. But yeah, here he goes down to his Latios. Now I do have an Assault Vest Hoopa for this Latios. As I said, max special attack Draco like only does like 40-ish, and the concern is if he's physical with like Dragon Claw and D-Dance. But my thought process was he probably wouldn't bring this Latios in on my Zapdos if he was physical with Dragon Claw. So I decided to make the aggressive play and go hard into my Hoopa as he goes for the Psychic, which is perfect. Now on this turn, I'm not going to overpredict. I know he couldn't like pull the offensive switch into his Heracross, but I'm going to fire off the Dark Pulse. It does good damage to the Heracross, and he can't really switch in anything else. As it does go hard Heracross, and now I'm forced out. So here on this turn, I know he's probably going for a Bugger Fighting move. It's too risky for him to predict my switch into like Azu. I'd go for the Bullet Seed because that won't knock me out, and I can kill him with Psychic because he doesn't know my set. Like he might be assuming Scarf at this point in time, but I still think my best play is to go out into my Zoomeroo as he goes for the Mega Horn on this turn, and that damage does reveal that he is he's not banded and he's not a boosting item, which leads me to believe this Heracross is probably Scarfed. And here's where I really started to begin to think about the late game, because this Scarf Heracross could definitely sweep me late game. So here I realize I need to keep my Venusaur, my Aerodactyl, and hopefully get my Zapdos. Healed up. So, yeah, I know he's probably not going to stay in here. And he could be Bullet Seed, and I could, like, double into my Zapdos, but that's just not, I don't think that's the play here. Like, I can get a lot of damage off on something. I know he's definitely not going to go out into his Latios, and Suicune could be set up fodder for him, considering he doesn't know my set. So, I think he's going to go out into his Celesteela. So I just click Waterfall, but as you're going to see, he actually goes down to his Mimikyu, which I guess makes sense because, like, if you thought it was Belly Drum, he would still have his Disguise, and then he would go for the Move in the next turn. So here I'm thinking he can only kill me if he has Wood Hammer, but I really don't expect Wood Hammer in this game. Life Orb Play Rough doesn't knock me out unless he gets a max roll, and I can one-shot this thing back with Banded Waterfall. So I'm just going to click Banded Waterfall on this turn, but he actually pulls out the Will-O-Wisp, which is really nice to bring on his part. I guess that really explains why he went hard Mimikyu on my Zoomeroo. Here I'm just going to go into my Venusaur. This play was nice because Venusaur, even on Mega Evolves, can take pretty much anything this Mimikyu wants to do to me. And it was also nice in case he wanted to like go hard at Suicune or something. I was a bit concerned of him going hard Latios or Celesteela, but the play worked out because, as you're going to see, he just goes for the Shadow Claw. Now here I want this Venusaur as healthy as possible for the Heracross and the aforementioned Mimikyu, so I'm just going to go for the Synthesis. He can't kill me. And yeah, now my Venusaur is at full. Now this Celesteela cannot to KO me unless he's like Life Orb or Specs Air Slash, and I don't want this thing getting like completely free setup, and if I put this thing to sleep I can potentially go hard into my Zapdos and get it healed up, which is really nice because I really want that thing healthy to help deal with the Heracross and the Celesteela. So I'm just going to go for the Sleep Powder in this turn as he goes for the Autotomize, which is a bit concerning. I did say, oh wait, I actually go for the Synthesis last turn. That was because I really didn't mind if he went for the Autotomize that turn. Like I couldn't stop it because I figured he'd probably be faster, and I couldn't stop it, so I might as well just go for that in case I wanted to scout for the Supersonic Sky Strike, which I would have been able to live, get back to like about 60 because it does like 90, and then I could just continue Synthesis up, assuming he doesn't flinch, and eventually get a Sleep Powder. I don't know, I'd probably sack Venusaur to get a Sleep Powder off, honestly, but actually I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I just went for Synthesis this turn, so he goes for the Autotomize. So here, I'm just going to go for the Sleep Powder, because I want him to get this thing asleep. As he goes to the Air Slash, that is max special attack modest damage, which is interesting. because it means he's definitely going to have some speed investment, but it means if he wanted to be mixed to my Zapdos, I actually count this. He can only kill me with a. I did here. I'll talk about this later. So I do go hard into my Zapdos because I do resist Izzle stabs. I figure Stonage is a possibility, but I decided to risk it. And here I just go for the resist. He stays asleep, which is really nice. So now it's Celesteela versus Zapdos. He's +2 speed. I am out of range of a Continental Crush because that damage on Venusaur did reveal his max special attack modest, and he would need some investment to like outspeed my Aerodactyl. So I'm thinking this thing probably doesn't have much special attack investment, so I can live a Continental Crush and 2 would KO him with Thunderbolt. So like if he stays asleep, then that's perfect. And as he does stay asleep, and I go for the discharge. Here I'm just gonna go for the discharge again because again I really want the Celesteela dead. It's nice for my Cinccino. It's nice for my Venusaur. So I just fire off another discharge, and he goes to the Continental Crush. I did say I could live this, so I should be fine and kill this thing, the Celesteela. But he actually crits me, which sucks a lot, and he gets the special attack boost, which basically means I lost my Zapdos, which means I'm way weaker to the Heracross as well. I need to preserve my arrow at all costs now, and also basically now I'm forced to take damage with my Hoopa, which means it's harder for me to deal with a Latios, and it's hard for me to just like continuously deal out hits with Suicune. So because he did reveal that he's more special, I can live any one hit from this thing with ease. So yeah, and kill him with a Dark Pulse. So go into my Hoopa. He goes for the Air Slash. The +1 minus Air Slash does absolutely nothing to my AV Hoopa, which is nice. Here he goes out into the Suicune. Now this play was pretty interesting. I figured if he went into Heracross, it would have been a huge problem. But I'm definitely not complaining. I can potentially 2KO this thing with Energy Ball, depending on his spread. I think it's actually a roll. But anyways, I don't really need my Hoopa at this point. It's too weak, so we can't really deal with the Latios, because if I switch out, it'll be at 28, meaning it's even in range of like max special attack Dragon Pulse. So I'm just gonna fire up an Energy Ball and get damage on the Suicune, as that does a nice 60%. As he goes for the Calm Mind. Now another Energy Ball is a roll to take him out, and I decide to go for it. But as you're gonna see, he's actually gonna go for the Protect on this turn, which is an interesting tech. But here I'm thinking since he revealed the Protect and the Calm Mind, he's probably not Rest Off, and he probably wants the Suicune healthy to deal with Aerodactyl and the Cinccino and kind of my Azu, but like my Azu is kind of useless at this point. And I don't think he's gonna risk his Heracross at this point in time, because I could like go for something like Slash Shock, which I do have. But I think he is best placed to go out into his Mega Latios, because I am in range of Draco Meteor. I'm also in range of Dragon Claw, which he still could have. Like he did reveal Psychic earlier, but Mixed is definitely a possibility, and I can definitely see why I'd want Psychic when I do have the Venusaur. So what I'm actually going to go for on this turn is I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, trying to predict the Latios to come in. As I go for the Dark Pulse, he does bring in the Mega Latios, which is perfect, and I one-shot that thing. This is great, because this means my my Venusaur is like in a great position now. It's really hard for him to pressure it. If I get that thing up to full, I'm in a grip. It'll be tough to do, but if I can do it, it's really nice. But here he goes down to his Mimikyu. I don't want this thing getting set up for free, so I'm actually just gonna go for the Dark Pulse on this turn, as he just knocks me out with Flavor Rough, which is fine. Here I can go. Here I choose to go into my Cinccino, because Banded Rock Blast gets a kill here. His Suicune is 2 KO'd, and Heracross actually dies to Banded Rock Blast, as does the Cinccino. So I go for the Rock Blast as I knock out this Mimikyu. Now here goes down to his Heracross, and I said I'm assuming this thing is Scarf, but here I actually choke. I was calcing long game here, And basically, here I make a really dumb idiot play. I thought that it would probably come down to my Aerodactyl having to one-shot this Heracross because I am to a KO'd by Megahorn. So but Aqua Jet plus Stone Edge from my Aerodactyl does kill this Heracross guaranteed. So I don't think he'd go hard Suicune. If I went hard Ozzy right now, I don't think he'd go hard Suicune because basically it allows my Venusaur to heal for free, which he does not want to do. My Venusaur is at 42 when it comes in from rocks, which means it's in range of a Megahorn unless he gets an absolute really low roll. So he wants my Venusaur low. So I figured he's definitely not going to go out into his Suicune. So what my thought process was here was if I go into my my Azumarill here, it's a roll for me to live Megahorn, and then I could go for the Aqua Jet, and then he's in guaranteed range of Stone Edge from my Aerodactyl. So I go into my Azu, but I make the dumb mistake of forgetting of the burn damage. So I actually die to Megahorn plus burn. Thankfully, because I died to burn, he does not get the Moxie boost, which is really good. But I still believe I lived the +1 Megahorn with Aerodactyl. But yeah, here my best play is to just fire off a Continental Crush. Continental Crush plus Stone Edge, plus Continental Crush plus Stone Edge will kill the Suicune even after all of that lefties, and if he were to protect and get an extra turn of lefties, and also knocks out the Heracross. So going for the Continental Crush is my best play. He does go hard Suicune, as I fire off the Continental Crush, and that leaves him low, but he gets lefties, and on this next turn he's going to protect it again. And here I really need to hit this Stone Edge, or else I'm in range of a Scarf Megahorn from Heracross, and then he just locks himself into Megahorn and wins. So I need to hit. Thankfully I do, and now it's Heracross versus Aerodactyl, Mega Venusaur, and Cinccino. So basically, here I thought I choked because I can live a Megahorn, but I feel like he can't really lock himself into close combat because my Venusaur can just continue Synthesis up if he locks into close combat. So I'm thinking, oh crap, he's gonna lock himself into Megahorn and win, assuming he hits all of them, because I can't one-shot him and I get 2 KO'd by Scarf Megahorn. Stone Edge for my Aerodactyl does 59 to 70%, so I could get a max roll, but that's pretty unlikely. My Cinccino is one-shot, and a +1 Megahorn to my Venusaur, I believe, does... Wait, no, it knocks me out. It knocks me out. So basically, I thought I'd choke. If I still had my Azu and I sacked off my Cinccino earlier, then this wouldn't be an issue. But I thought I would choke because, as I said earlier, Stone Edge plus Aqua Jet kills. But still, my play is to go for Stone Edge, as he actually not locks himself into close combat, which actually means I win. Even at +1, close combat cannot take out my Venusaur, so I can just continue to Synthesis up. Thankfully, he does not crit me, and I'm just going to Synthesis up to the point where basically he can't 2KO me. And yeah, I think after this turn, here I Synthesis, and then on the next turn, I just knock him out with Sledge Bomb. So yeah, that was a great game to Rob. Really fun game. You played pretty well. We are now 10-0 on the season, which just it's really cool. When we clinched the first seed in our conference. So yeah, we're likely gonna play either the Verd or Palu in round 1 of playoffs, which is pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to play both. But yeah, I still want to try and go undefeated. Our next 2 games are versus divisional opponents. Next week we play Johnny, and then the following week we play Abe. So yeah, that was a great game to Rob. And yeah, thank you all for watching. See you guys next time.